Oh, good morning. Welcome. See, I didn't get halfway through before I picked up the microphone this time because I had two people checking me out. Get that microphone. hmm So we have new people. So we have bathrooms right through that white door and then back, so you'll see it when you walk in. So they're that way. We have coffee over that way after service is over. You can enjoy some coffee and fellowship and community together. Ah, welcome, welcome, welcome. What a beautiful Sunday to be here in this sacred space here in the garden once again. Yes. And then Cindy's going to talk to you about the announcement where we'll be next week and from then on out for a little while at least till we outgrow that space. Because it's gotten a little tight in here, hasn't it? But it's still beautiful and wonderful to be here together in community. Yes, it is. Ah, so when we come together in this sacred space, how amazing do we all feel? It's such a beautiful community, isn't it? So wonderful. So let's all stand together. And we're going to say our great invocation that was written by Charles Fillmore. And the great invocation is just that. We are invoking Spirit to be with us for our service and for this time that we have come together in celebration. She's still handing them out. It's amazing that we have so many new people every week. I think last week we had 18 new people. Ah, isn't it wonderful? And we know that because Mary calls them. She tells us how many new people we have. So if you're new, you're going to get a phone call from Mary. You'll probably get an email from us. Awesome. So together, let's say our great invocation. We are now in the presence of pure being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. We acknowledge thy presence and thy power, O blessed Spirit. In thy divine wisdom, now we erase our mortal limitations, and from thy pure substance of love, bring into manifestation our world according to thy perfect law. And what a beautiful world it is when we can come together in that pure substance of love. That, that is what life is all about. Feeling that love and then radiating it out to everyone else. And we are all divine individual creations of our Creator. I was speaking to Nyela. We have Reverend Nyela Oluchi Hope today as our special musical guest. And I said, every Sunday has been different because it has, hasn't it? Every Sunday has been different and every Sunday has been perfect. And then we have Tracey Johnson joining us today with a crystal bowl meditation. And we have our young minister in training, Laura Ann Hartman, is going to be sharing the daily word and a heart share with you today. So I'm so excited. So I'm going to turn it over to Reverend Nyela now to share with us in song.
Good morning. Good morning. I gotta turn on the mic. Get my back. So, Reverend Kimberly just mentioned something about wonderful day, and I'm going to sing "Wonderful World." All right. So, beautiful song. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And you know what? I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the warm, sacred nights. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. On the colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky. And so are the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands saying, how do you do? But what they're really saying is, I love you. I hear the babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn so much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So as we continue the spirit of Advent, I want to read from the Daily Word. And the Daily Word is Unity's daily intention or daily devotional. Today's word is peace. As I created a sacred space for myself this morning, I want to share the affirmation prayer and the denial prayer that came to me. I affirm, I deny myself chaos. I choose peace. The application of that is to call out chaos. Do not get pulled into their chaos. Pull them into your peace. Name it, claim it, tame it. Peace. Sunday, December 5th, 2021. As I continue the Advent journey, my thoughts turn to peace. I remember what gives me peace. The beauty of a sunset, the comfort of a hug, a heartfelt prayer. In those moments, peace accompanies all thoughts, feelings, and transforms worries and our troubles. I wish to carry that feeling with me everywhere I go. It is a conscious decision. I realize that I do not have to wait for a specific experience to feel peaceful. I have the power to claim peace at any time in any situation. I affirm that divine peace is greater than any worldly condition. I remain centered and calm, and I do not let minor irritations knock me off center of any linear awareness that I have. God's peace is my peace forever. They quote Philippians 4:7. And those who find peace in God, which suppresses all understanding, will guard their hearts and protect their minds. I asked Reverend Kim to step forward as it's her birthday. And her message today is creating sacred space in the midst of where we live in our practical human condition, understanding we are spiritual beings having this human condition. So I invite you to come along with me for this journey as I continue, or as I sage Reverend Kim, honor her for her birthday, smudge her, set intentions for her journey, not only showing up for life, we appreciate you showing up for life, and continue the next 365 days in the true power that you are. I honor you. So I'll walk you through it. So this is smudge and the dried flowers. So this is just kidding. This is smudge. The dried flowers are given in love, and if you ever are gifted flowers, the intent behind that is to be able to carry it forward. So I know specifically Reverend Kim has flowers from her children that have been gifted to her that she continues to use in her smudging ceremonies. And the smudge is wrapped with sage, and then the sage itself, and I take my shoes off to ground me to earth. That's intentional. And then the dried flowers just happen to be red, white, and blue because I enjoyed all the freedom. Cigar torch. No.
Wow, what a wonderful gift. So after service, I'm gonna have Lauren Ann go over and sage anybody who wants to smudge anyone who wants to be smudged. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And now we're gonna have Nyela come back with another song to share with our community. Oh. Reverend Nyela Oluchi Hope.
I did have it, now I gotta find it. Okay, the song that I'm doing is Feeling Good. I'm sure y'all are familiar with that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about the lyrics of the song, and it's talking about it's a new dawn, a new day, a new life. And it says for me, but I thought about Unity of Gulfport. It's a new dawn, a new day, a new life for you all. And you're going to be going to a new location. And how awesome that is. So, I'm still trying to find it. You know how many feeling good is on here, and I can pick out just the right one with a different beat, and that's not showing up. Okay. Okay, let me breathe. I need to breathe.
We're not in any hurry.
Oh,
Fine.
okay. Breathe in, relax. Yeah. Nope, that's not it. That wasn't it.
Got it.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. sun in the sky. You know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Uh-oh. I was feeling good. What is going on? I'm sorry. I apologize.
All good.
I apologize. Okay, I'm getting ready to tell y'all I'm feeling good again.
Can't tell us enough.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. The breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. The blossoms on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Well, dragonflies out in the sun. You know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun. You know what I mean. I sleep in peace when day is done. That's what I mean. And this old world is a new world. It's a bold world for me. Well, stars when you shine, you know how I feel. And you know what? The scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine, and that's how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Yeah. Let me tell you, I'm feeling good. New dawn, new day, new life. Yeah, I'm feeling good. New dawn, new day, new life for me. And I'm feeling so good. Thank you. Fabulous. Let's give it up to her again. We have another round of applause. Re-applause. Beautiful, Reverend Nyela. Thank you. Oh, Reverend Nyela has been such a gift in my life. Yes, she has. And so, you know, when the expo comes up, Reverend Nyela does beautiful, wonderful readings. And when my youngest son was in town and he was needing some guidance. But you know how our kids, they listen to anybody but mama. You know? Mama can be an expert on something. And they don't want to listen to mama. But Reverend Nyela guided him. And I am forever grateful for he was guided with such love and such care. And I appreciate you so much.
So today we're talking about normal places in the world becoming sacred spaces. Whoa. You know, people trek, they do pilgrimages all over the world to what are considered sacred sites and sacred places, sacred spaces. Well, how did those places become sacred in the first place? They became sacred because there was an intention for them to be sacred. Yes, something might have happened there. Maybe an apparition appeared to someone and they said, that is a divine guidance from God. And then people come in pilgrimage to also receive that same divine guidance. And the energy of the people coming to that space for that, seeking with an intention to find, create the sacred space. When we were just recently in Sedona on a vacation, there's a beautiful Buddhist temple that has been built in Sedona, Arizona. And I read the history of that Buddhist temple. And so this group decided they wanted to build a Buddhist temple in Sedona, Arizona. So they found a piece of property that would allow the zoning, would allow them to build a Buddhist temple, and that they could afford. And then they brought their entire community to that land, to that space, and started praying, offering meditations to set an intention for what that land and that space would be for all who come there. And then they raised the funds and were able to build the temple. And again, invited people from all over the world to come and say prayers, put up prayer flags. And if you're not aware of what the purpose of a prayer flag is, when a prayer flag is created, the prayers are written on the cloth. And then the cloth is prayed over. And then as they hang, the wind takes the prayer, takes it to God and out into the world. And we're doing a prayer flag workshop here soon. So, because I think that is such a sacred practice to do for yourself. These were created by monks, but we can also create our own individual prayers that we want to release out into the world as the wind blows through. But at this Buddhist temple in Sedona, they hung their prayer flags, they said their prayers. And now when you step foot on that land, you feel it. You feel the intention. You feel the sacredness of that land. You know, many of the world's indigenous tribes have fought for their own sacred lands. And they use the word sacred because that's what most people are familiar with, because they're afraid if they don't call it sacred, people won't appreciate what it is. But truly, most of the sites for the indigenous people are sacrosanct. They are their burial grounds. They're places where they go to have that one-on-one connection and to experience all that there is to experience in nature. It's a give and a take with the trees. It's a give and a take with the plants, with all of nature. One of the greatest Aztec cities that now is the center of Mexico City. The space was chosen and created because an eagle flew down and landed on a cactus blossom. And they said, oh, that's a sign from God that this is where we need to build a city. And so they built that city. And now it was an Aztec city, and now it is Mexico City, at the center of Mexico City. So sacredness is all in the intention. It is within us. God, just as God is within us, each and every one of us all the time,
every space we can occupy on this earth is sacred. Every space, every place. Because a sacred place is where God comes or you go to connect with God. But we know God is everywhere. God is all around us and within us. So wherever we are can be a sacred space. It just requires the intention to make it a sacred space. This home was a house that used to be down on the beach and then got moved to here. It's one of the oldest structures in Gulfport. Janet and Cindy purchased it, and it needed a lot of work. And they put so much love, so much energy, so much intention into what they created that no matter where you are in their home or in their garden, wherever your eye falls, you see beauty. And you feel the love. You feel the sacredness of this space because they intended that as people would come, friends would come and join here, they would experience that sacredness and know their love. And don't we all feel that when we are here in this garden? We feel it, we know it, and we are forever grateful to you, Jamie and Cindy, over there, for offering your home for our community together. And they truly were successful in creating a successful space. And know that you also can create sacred space in your life wherever you are, whenever you are. If you go down to the beach to do a meditation, your intention can make that space sacred. We're going to be moving to a new home for our Sunday celebrations next week. And when we move there, it's an ordinary place. It's a rec center throughout the week. But on Sunday, we are coming with our intention, and they won't know what hit them. It will become a sacred space because we will come with the intention that this will now be a sacred space where we come together, where we connect to our divine creator. And we talk about sacred spaces that people travel to, that people pay tour guides to take them to. We have some beautiful tour guides in this area, Patricia McGivern, and she will take you, you'll see her in January at her expo, and she speaks, and she would take you to Sedona, Arizona, and she will take you over to Europe, and she will take you to France, to Mary Magdalene's cave, where when she hid out, when they were hunting for her, hunting to do away with her, she went and hid out in this cave and was there for some time, some years, and lived in that cave, and it has become a sacred site because the intention of the people going there to pay honor to her have created that space, have created it as such. But what amazing pilgrimages we can make. And then we can also make those pilgrimages from our living room to our backyard. We can create a sacred space within our own living space that is just as sacred as any other place on this earth, because the sacredness is within us. The sacredness is within our intention to honor our Creator, to connect to our Creator. And then we also talk about holding space. So if I say to you, I'm holding space for you, what I am doing is holding sacred that space where you connect to God, where you understand and know and affirm
that you are connected to your Creator, because sometimes life happens, and we aren't necessarily feeling that. You know, we might be going through a thing or two, and we lose sight of that, and we lose sight of that fact that we are always connected. We simply must acknowledge and allow. And when we do, what a wonderful community to know that there are those in our community that will hold for us that space until we find our way back to it. Because sometimes we need a moment. Sometimes we experience a moment. Maybe we're a little depressed, or maybe we're a little anxious, or maybe we're just not feeling the love. And we need those in our community to hold that sacred space. And we have some amazing space holders that have come forward in this community to say, I'll do that. I'll do that. You may not even know them, but know that they are here holding that space for you until you affirm, acknowledge, and feel that connection. Just like when I was teaching the little children on the Native American Story Day, to feel in their heart that warm smile. Feeling in your heart that warm smile is evidence of that connection. It's evidence of the connection you have with the divine that you are bringing into you. And then radiating that warm smile back out to the world. We can give no greater gift than to do that. And then we have sacred space within a relationship, within our relationship with our community, and within our relationship to the one that we love, that we call our life partner, our spouse. Oh, what a beautiful, wonderful relationship we have when we honor that sacred space. I was fortunate yesterday to officiate a wedding, and it was out on Treasure Island on the beach. Oh, and the beach is a normal place. There were people all up and down the beach, but they had created with palm fronds, they had created a semicircle, and that's where I stood, and the two people getting married stood, and then all their family who had flown in from all over the country. There were about 100 people, and they were sitting in chairs around. But you know what? We created such a sacred space, and we're radiating that love out, that people came up from the beach and were trying to be in that space. Because when you create sacred space by sending that divine love out from your heart center, people want to be part of it. They want to come and feel that. They can see the energy. Just like, have you ever been on a really hot day and you go out to the street and you can see the energy waves coming off the asphalt? That's when you see someone's aura, that's what it looks like. And my wife, my wife Paula takes the pictures here every Sunday that we share out. And one Sunday we were doing our pray-in the morning, and she took some pictures, and you could see those energy waves above the circle we had created that we were doing the prayer. And then during the meditation, you could see the energy waves coming off the faces, because we create that powerful energy. And when we share it out to the world, there's nothing more sacred. There's nothing more sacred than that. Sharing that divine, loving energy. So people came up from the beach, and the wedding, oh, what a beautiful wedding it was. We have another wedding coming up this weekend here in our community. I just love officiating weddings, because it is so amazing to be standing there amidst all that love. And I always ask the attendees to do a vow. You know, usually the two people do a vow, but then I include everybody that's gathered because who are those people? Those are your family and your friends that come to be there, to be part of it. So I incorporate a vow for them. And I said, okay, I'm going to say a vow for you. And all I'm going to require of you is to listen, be present with that vow. And then at the end of it, I want you to say, we will. So I ask everyone who's there, who has guided this couple to know what love is, to know what a loving relationship is. They've taught them through their actions, through the life, to then stand ready. Their role will change, but to stand ready, stand strong for that couple, to be there to celebrate with them in their times of triumph and success, and also to be there to offer them support when they need support, and to be there for them continuing throughout this relationship. And then I say, will you agree to that? And they all say, we will. And it just blows out that whole aura of the whole place, that we all just became part of this union that is between these two people, but we all accepted responsibility to be part of it and to be there as loving guides for them. So, so I'm still in that space too from yesterday doing that wedding, because it's beautiful. We created sacred space there. So no matter how normal your place is, no matter how normal the environment you are in, know that it is sacred. All you have to do is acknowledge it, open up, and experience it, and then radiate that out. And people will come, they want to be part of that. That's why when a sacred site is, sometimes it's a culture that says, this site is sacred. East of the river in India is sacred. So now people trek to that and say, I want to be in that sacred space. It becomes sacred because it was proclaimed. It's sacred. Indigenous people all over the world are owning their rights to their sacred spaces, taking back rights to their sacred spaces that were taken and not treated as sacred spaces. And they are taking them back and saying, this is sacrosanct. This is our sacred space where we bury our people. And they are here in spirit. And we hold that land sacred. So what a beautiful honoring when we all come together and say, I honor you and I honor this sacred space. Even sacred space is universal. God is universal. Different religions claim God. Different religions have different names for the one presence and the one power that is our divine source. But whatever the name, whatever the religion, it is universal. And the most common thread among all the different world's cultures and all the different world religions is love. When we can come and be with each other in love and in community, we can knock down those barriers, create bridges over the differences, and experience life by coexisting with our neighbors, even though their thoughts and their beliefs may not be exactly the same as ours. You know, in the Native American tradition, the Native American spirituality, everyone understands and knows that each person has a unique and personal experience with God. And just as we are all different and we are all unique, our personal relationship with our Creator is unique and different. What you say when you're speaking to God may not be what I say when I'm speaking to God or Goddess. So what you bring and what I bring may be different, but we can coexist together, honoring that you have the ability and the right to have your relationship the way it is, individual, unique, and perfect. And I have the right and the ability to have my unique individual relationship that is also perfect. Because we are all unique and individual creations of God. Creations and children of Goddess. Mother Earth and Father Sky come together. And when we can honor that, and honor that each one of us is worthy. We are all worthy. And each one of us has that still small space within us where we connect to our Creator. That is our most sacred space. Because when we honor our very own sacred space, it makes us a person who can step out and love fiercely. We can step out with courage and bravery and do what we know is ours to do in this world, knowing that my Creator has my back. Put this thought in us as a divine spark of inspiration of what it is ours to do. And when we honor that divine spark of inspiration and step boldly forward and take action towards it, we will always be successful. Because if God is for you, who can be against you? No one. No one. Yes. So as you go about your life this week, I would challenge you to look in your life at where are your sacred spaces. What are your sacred spaces? Are they physical places that you have carved out a niche? Maybe placed an altar of some kind? Maybe you have a meditation mat that is your sacred space. And sacred spaces can change for us throughout our life. One of my most sacred spaces when I was a young girl living in the mountains was the meadow on the other side of the barn. Because there was the house, and there were the gardens, and there was the tobacco fields over there. And then there was the barn, and there were gardens all around the barn on this side. But on the far side was a big meadow. And I would go and lay in that meadow and feel the warm grass on my back, and the backs of my legs, and the back of my head. And I would stare up at the clouds. And I guess, truthfully, that was probably my first meditations, were just laying there as a child watching the clouds go by. And I'd be out there sometimes for a long time, and then it'd start getting cooler and dimmer, and I knew I better get back home. Mama probably wondering where I am. But that was Mama's rule, was as long as we were back up to the house by dark, we could roam around wherever we needed or wanted to roam around, because she had stuff to do. Because she had 5 children and a big farm to take care of. She did not, unless she needed me specifically to help with something, I was free to enjoy. Another sacred space there was the spring where our water was, where we got our water from. And my brother Steve taught me to lay on my belly and look in that spring and take a drink from the spring. And at first, the first time I ever did it, I was like, God, there are snails in there. There's things in there. I can't drink that water. It's dirty. And he taught me that, no, the snails clean the water for us. Took me a minute to get right with that one. But once I did, and that became a sacred space for me to go and lay down in the spring and look down in the water. And when you first look in water and its ripples and everything, you can't see what's underneath. But then if you're still and you continue to look, the water gets really still and it becomes a window and you can see all the way down and all the way down to the bottom where the water's bubbling up from the spring. And what a beautiful sacred space. So I'm going to challenge you as you're going through your life. Where are your sacred spaces in your physical place, where you live, where maybe you work, and then where are your sacred spaces in your relationship? How are you creating sacred spaces in your relationship? Maybe it's time you carve out that you commit to your partner. This day's for you. Whatever you need and want, I'm here for you. Maybe it's a 2-hour window. This time is for you. Whatever you need and want from me, here I am, here to share with you. And then also carving out that sacred space that is entirely and only yours. Because we all must have that. We must love ourselves. We must give ourselves that sacred space in order to be a loving partner, in order to be a loving mother or father, in order to be a loving spouse, in order to be a loving community member. We must first love and honor ourselves, because that's the measure that we can love and honor others, is the measure that we take for how much we love and honor ourselves. So that's your challenge. So next week you can come up and say, my sacred space is, yeah, I know what my sacred space is. So I want you to look, what is your sacred space? In your physical environment, in your work environment, out in the world, within, and then within your relationship with your partner, your spouse, or in your relationship with other family members in your life, your relationship with your friends in your community. Where is your sacred space? Because I know we all have them. They're everywhere. If we simply open our eyes and see them, they are there. And sometimes it might be that God gives you a sign of where that is. Maybe the eagle will come down and sit on a cactus blossom, and you'll say, oh, there, okay, that's my sacred space. And maybe here it will be a seahawk that comes down, an osprey that comes down and sits, or a pelican out at the beach, or a dolphin. Because yesterday when I was doing that wedding, just before I walked down and took my place, 2 dolphins came and were playing right there, right in the water, right there. And I said, the dolphins have come to bless this union. And most of the people were from way up north. Oh, wow, is that what they do? I said, yes, they do. Dolphins bring, for me, dolphins are always a sign of joy and happiness. Joy and happiness are what dolphins are. And see, they come every Sunday. I think they like the sound from the microphone, because every Sunday they're flying around us. They love the energy. Animals do. They love the energy. So as you radiate that energy and find your sacred space, never know what you're going to call in, but it will be divinely ordered, and you will find peace and comfort in whatever it is you call into your sacred space. And I thank you so much for being here with us and joining us. And now I am going to turn it over to the fabulous Tracey to share with us a crystal bowl meditation So as she's doing this crystal bowl meditation, she's going to guide you through it and also play the bowls. You'll feel the vibration of the energy of the bowls. And I would hope that you might reflect on your sacred spaces.
Good morning. So, Reverend Kimberly, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm just going to put some background music on and turn it down a little bit because I'm going to multitask while I play the bowls and hold the microphone. No, I'm good. No, I do. So, I just want to say namaste to everyone. So, namaste, the divine in me sees and bows to the divine in you. And especially my mother showed up today, so I'm going to say namaste to you. Love you. So, before I start the meditation, I just want to tell a quick little story. Last weekend, I was in LA and I went there to see a band. And the reason I follow this band that most people don't know is because of the spirituality that they carry. They're the number one band in the world, but most people don't know that. They filled the stadium with 70,000 people that carry a light. And the light is because the light of God is in the arena, and it's amazing. So I wore my t-shirt today, and they do this. That's a heart. And everybody holds their hand up, and they show the heart. And they're known for what's called I purple you. That's their phrase, I purple you. That means I trust you, I love you, I support you, and I'm loyal to you until my last breath. And that's what they're known for. And they came up with that. And so every time you see this or you see someone do that, it's the I purple you symbol. So I want you to just carry that with us today because it's all about love and support and trust. And when we have that, we bring it into our community. We help each other. We support each other. We trust each other and we love each other. So I'm going to play the bowls for you and take you through a meditation that we're going to let go of this year. We're going to bring in new things into the new year. What you would like to manifest for your life, what you do not want anymore that's not serving the good. So we're going to set a nice intention for the new year. All right, so I just want you to get comfortable. I'm going to go over here so I can be by the bowls. And I want you to put both your feet down on the ground so that you can ground yourself as we're meditating. And I want you to close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to start taking some deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Maybe 10 or 15. And maybe put your hand on your stomach so you can feel yourself breathing and connect to yourself. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And we're going to reimagine the year ahead. We're going to reimagine the year ahead, what we want to see come into our lives. No matter what your past has dictated to you, it does not dictate the future. You are the creator of your year, of the year that's coming. So the intention of today's meditation is to give you a sacred space, just like Reverend Kimberly talked about, to reimagine the year ahead of you. So as you allow yourself to settle, closing your eyes and relaxing, consciously slow down your breathing and become aware of your breath. Feel yourself expand into that breath. And just take a pause in your life. Think about all the wonderful things that have happened this year. Give gratitude. And then think about the things that you want to let go of and also give gratitude. And breathe in all that gratitude. And just remember, everything in your entire life has brought you to this moment. It has brought you here in this space. And as we let go of the past, we create possibilities for the future. Let the past teach you. The past can teach you, but it does not define you. So as you take a deep breath, give yourself permission to breathe out any limiting thought or belief that you're keeping inside of you. You are in total control of what you want to manifest and create in your life. And see that sacred space. See the space that you want to create in. See with a new set of eyes. And as you breathe out, anything that doesn't want to come with you into the new year, let it go now. And honor and love and give thanks. And just pause for a second as you're letting everything go. And know that you're making space for things you want to create in your life. Imagine this new space. Free from expectations. Free from boundaries. Free from definitions. This is a joyful place, a joyful creation. And simply be in this space. So for the next minute or so, I want you to just think in your mind as you create. What does the year ahead look like? What do you see in your sacred space? Now bring your attention back to your breathing. And with every breath that you take out, see your sacred space, see what you want to create. Letting go with every breath out. Bring yourself back to the feeling of your body. Bring your hands to your heart. The year ahead is for you to create. It's for you to create for yourself, for others, for the world. And it starts right in this moment. It comes from a place of love. When you're ready, feel your feet touching the earth, connected to the ground, to the mother, bringing all the energy from the earth up through your body. The heartbeat, the love. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes, connecting back to Mother Earth. Taking a deep breath in. And know that you're loved and supported and trusted. Namaste.
Namaste. Isn't that beautiful? Thank you, Tracey.
You're welcome.
So now I'm going to call up our illustrious president to share with you some exciting announcements. Because we do have exciting announcements. And just, I want to make a personal note that we have Saturday the 18th. So it's not this coming Saturday, but the next Saturday. I have committed our community to help in the laying of wreaths at the VA National Cemetery with wreaths across America. So they truckload in a semi-trailer full of wreaths, but then they don't have personnel to lay the wreaths. So I have said, we will help with that. So we'll all meet at noon. Anybody who wants to help with that, we'll meet at noon over at the National Cemetery at VA Bay Pines, and we will lay wreaths. And you can give 10 minutes or an hour or ever how long you may want to give to that endeavor, but it's going to be beautiful. And thank you. And here is Cindy. Is Cindy Johnson.
You know, every Wednesday I look at Reverend Kimberley and I say, what's the theme for Sunday? Who's singing? What are we doing? It's a blank piece of paper. And I was sitting back here during the beautiful meditation and I realized Spirit's got this all under control. I need to back off a little bit because you're beautiful. Nyela, thank you, Reverend Kimberley. Laura Ann, I mean, it's just amazing to me that it comes together and the message is so heart stirring and divinely sent, obviously. So, thank you. Thank you for having the patience in me because I get a little stressed. So, as you know, we have been tithing for a charitable organization each month. And we have Sheila and Carol here from Heaven on Earth. If you would come up, please. I'd like to let them introduce themselves and tell you just a little bit about their organization. And then I get to do the fun stuff, which is present a little check to them. Okay.
Let me have a microphone a minute. Yeah. So no, you will present the check. So, but I just want to tell you a little bit about these two ladies. They are amazing. Carol was in the graduating class of West Point, of the first graduating class that allowed women. She retired as a lieutenant colonel in the Army, and her wife Sheila is a beautiful and wonderful light of love in this world. She is. She is a master at being love and radiating that love out to the world. Everybody who knows and sees her acknowledges and feels that love. And I am so grateful that they are friends of mine, and that so grateful that we as a community could come together and help support them. So I'm going to turn it over to Carol, who is a fabulous speaker, and you will fall in love with her.
Well, thank you so much for having Heaven on Earth for Veterans here today. And listening to what Reverend Kimberly was saying and everybody else was speaking, you know, she was talking about ordinary spaces. But anytime Reverend Kimberly walks into a room, it becomes extraordinary. It's just so true. I mean, who here, the first time you met her, didn't remember her? Yeah, okay, sure. Well, then you didn't meet, really. But every place she goes, every person she touches, you just feel better. And I know that she has done a lot for Sheila and I, and we truly appreciate it. And I think that this here is absolutely wonderful. And, you know, she talked about my wife Sheila being love. Well, if there was one word I could describe Reverend Kimberly is love. And I know you see the nods, it's the same. So from one veteran to another, who, well, I do want to first acknowledge any of the veterans who are here in the room. Would you raise your hand? So now what I'd like to do is I'd like everyone who has not served in uniform to raise your hand. So here's what I want to say, and if you can, keep those hands up. And if you get, there you go, there you go. All right, if you can't, give me 10. We had a meeting, and if you get tired, you can put them down. All right, you can put them down, you can put them down. But remember who you are, because I'm going to talk about you. Sheila and I were at a luncheon with a gentleman who runs what's called the Patriot Fund. And it's a huge conduit, you might say, that helps smaller nonprofits, which we are, because we only exist here in Pinellas County and really in St. Petersburg. So there were a couple of veterans who were on his side of the table, and Sheila said, to the one gentleman, Will, thank you for your service. And then there was Jeff, and she said, thank you for your service. And then there was this gentleman, and she said, thank you for your service. And she said, you might not have served in a uniform, but you're serving now. So I want everyone who has not served to take that and think about that. You're serving now. There are over 1,600 homeless veterans within Pinellas County at any one time. And I'll tell you this, unfortunately, the VA and the government defines homelessness in a different way. So if you live in your car, you're not homeless. If you couch surf, you're not homeless. So you may hear somebody say, well, there are only 400 homeless veterans. No, there are a lot more. And Sheila and I started back in 2012 because she's also a hairdresser. She also likes real estate. And so we got together and decided to do something for a special population. We started buying houses in 2012, 2013, and 14. Refinancing our own home twice and took out a home equity loan. We bought 8 homes in South St. Pete. And if you can imagine, our first house was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house. We bought it for $18,000. So you can imagine what it looked like. We've never paid more than $39,000 for a home, and that was a 2-story, 5-bedroom, 2-bath house. So most of all the fix-ups that were done, Sheila and I, both of us had a full-time job. We did it on nights and weekends. And we finally became a nonprofit in 2013. Actually didn't get approval till 2014, but it was effective as of 2013. And you know, people don't want to give to a nonprofit if they don't have that EIN number. So we just decided that we were not going to be in the red. We were going to start in the black. And so what we do is we rent bedrooms in our houses to homeless or at-risk veterans. Every veteran has their own room in the house with which we furnish fully: beds, linens, towels, kitchen stock, pots, pans, anything and everything they would need, washer and dryer, cable, internet, Wi-Fi. Now we call it a hand up, not a handout, because they do pay a rent, $400, $500, or $600 a month. They got to have some skin in that game. So the cool thing is that any administrative costs that we incur, that gets paid by the rent. And we work with St. Vincent de Paul, the VA, and other organizations who will help those veterans pay that rent. We also work with Career Source Pinellas. So if a veteran needs a job, they can get a job. We can turn them on to resources, and there are so many resources in the county. But another huge resource are folks like you, folks in the community who want to do something to help someone else. You know, that human condition. We talked about the spirit, but we also have that human body. Sometimes that human body ain't so good, and we got to help. So we have continued to raise money, and we have 9 homes, and we purchased a lot, and we just broke ground on building a brand new 4-bedroom, 2-bath house with a detached garage that we'll use for storage. But 100% of our donations go to help veterans. And we are so blessed, Sheila and I are so blessed to be able to do this. And I can tell you that neither one of us back in 2012, when we started buying houses, thought we'd be here today. But we are. And we didn't do it alone. It was with people like you who saw the need, helped the need, and made our community a better place. So on behalf of our board, I just want to say thank you so much, because it's nice to be part of the beginning of this unity. So we just want to say thanks. Now, if you'd like a brochure, Sheila has got some. and she can pass them out to you. If you want one, raise your hand. This is a check for $315.60. So thank you very much. We appreciate it. I would suggest that we all hold sacred space for these two lovely people and for the charity Heaven on Earth for Veterans. Thank you for what you do. So as is tradition, last week our offering was $449.44.90 went into the check that we gave to Heavens on Earth. This week, we start our tithing for the St. Vincent de Paul Society that they also work with, and we're accepting blankets, hats, and socks for the homeless. They have to be in like new or brand new condition to be accepted. I have a box over here if you brought any. If not, also know that 10% of all of the offering goes towards the purchase of those goods. We started a Giving Tuesday campaign, which many people have already generously donated, and we raised $925 for that. So thank you. We've also received additional pledges for our monthly rent that we'll have at the rec center. Liz Wood has pledged 2 months of rent for that. Thank you, Liz. Mary Westcott has pledged to cover a portion of the monthly rent, so thank you, Mary. And Dan Goss donated 20 of the folding chairs that you're sitting in were donated. They're brand new. That was donated from Dan Goss. So thank you all for your generous. Okay, next week I will be putting up a volunteer schedule. We've had a lot of people say that they want to volunteer. So I'm going to just put a schedule out there so you can pick what day you want to come in early and help set up church and all the things that we're doing so that, everybody wants to give and we really appreciate that. So we'll formalize that and make it a little bit easier. On Wednesday, we will start a 45-minute meditation at the Gulfport Public Library. It is open to the public. We will also live stream it. It starts December 8th, and then we have a week off because they have a conflict. And then on December 22nd, every Wednesday at the Gulfport Library, 45-minute meditation weekly. So at 11:30. Thank you. We also are beginning our formal membership registration. I have these forms available. It's a 2-step process. So December 18th after service, if you will stay after service, we'll have an orientation class for you. And then on January 2nd, we will have a formal sacred initiation ceremony as part of our regular Sunday service. So there's more details in here about membership and what you're signing up for, which quite frankly, the most important thing is that you're signing up to commit to your own spiritual growth as the number one most important thing that you're doing. So I will make these forms available. You could take them home, take a look at them. There's a little bit more information on that. But that is for December 18th, immediately after service. We have Reverend Deb, who's here after church. If you would like prayer requests or if you would like a few minutes with somebody for a special prayer, she'll position herself over here privately, and please go and see her or fill out a prayer request in the box. Just so you know, those are prayed on by our community and then also sent to Silent Unity, and they are prayed on for 30 days. So last week, Reverend Kim spoke about community, and we are evolving and moving and changing. First and foremost, we are trying to be a spirit-guided community, and we are heart and people-centric. And we would like to hear what you have to say about the community. What is it that you want your spiritual community to be? What is your vision for this community? So I've made forms available. If you have some things that you would like to write on that, we would like to have that. Just so you know, tomorrow, Reverend Kimberly and I have set the day aside for prayer, meditation, and reflection on, because we are spirit guided. We just want to make sure that we're being guided completely and fully for what the community wants and what the community needs. So we would like to hear. We'll also be starting a formal visioning committee where we'll have members of the community come together. And if you're interested in that, just let me know. We are in celebration of Reverend Kim's birthday. If you would, please stay after service because we have some special cupcakes that looks like a cake, but it's all cupcakes, and apple cider and coffee and water. So let's have a little fellowship and celebrate our beloved Reverend Kim. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. So Cindy and I have committed to have a day of visioning and meditation tomorrow. And we want to include all of your thoughts and process, and then that out of that will birth also the greater visioning community that will include anyone in the community that wants to be part of that. So we're super excited about that. Super excited about it. We also have some surprises for next week that are just gonna be so exciting. So when we meet down at our new space down, it's at the corner. So if you go all the way to 58, it's right at the corner. So if you kept going further, you'll be in the bay. So it's right there at the corner of Shore Boulevard and 58th Street South. And that's where our place is. Somebody told me the pictures, because it's a magnificent building, it is. And somebody said, wow, do you have a mega church now? I said, we will. Yes, we will. Thank you for affirming that. Yes, it is. Our community is amazing. And so now if Tracey will come up and help, we would love to sing the peace song together as a community. I'm not a singer. So when it comes to singing, I freely hand over the microphone. So we will do the peace song and then we will affirm the unity prayer. So Nyela and Tracey will come up and they will lead us in the peace song. They didn't know that. They're surprised.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Now there is peace on earth, and this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Where there is peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Where peace begins.
Right now.
Right now. So let us affirm together our unity prayer. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. For God is amazing. And all the time. Yes. Woo! Thank you.